Hey everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Back to the Light. I'm your host, JD Reager, and with me is my old friend in from China, Joey Pegram. Joey, what's up, man?
Not much, just enjoying my time stateside.
Yep. How long have you been? How long have you been back?
We came back like second week of June, I believe. So, a few weeks.
Most of that time in Cookville.
Yeah, Cook Vegas.
Sure. That's quite a metropolis, Cookville.
Oh yeah, you got to be careful there.
I think Glossary played a show there. My old band Glossary played a show in Cookville once, and it was like to two people in a seafood restaurant.
Oh wow.
Or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's grown since then. There are actual band venues there now.
How long have you been in China? And overseas in general?
15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When was the last time we played a show together?
China, I think I've been 9 years now.
9 years. And then you were in... Where were you before that?
Bangkok for 5 years. And then... and then 1 year in Jakarta.
Wow. And you moved for love.
That's why I moved to Jakarta. That's exactly right, yeah.
And you stayed for love. Yeah.
I did.
How hard...
I stayed for love, and I started a family.
Do you miss Memphis?
I do, yeah. I do. I mean, mostly I just miss hanging out and playing music with friends, and that's about it. That was what I did most of the time, was hang out and play music with friends, you know.
America is not necessarily, especially the South in America, is not a super great place to be.
Well, there have been certain times where I've been thankful to be in China.
Isn't that and that's almost an unbelievable thing to say.
It is crazy.
As someone who was raised in the 80s.
I was surprised at how low key it was when I got there. You know, you get this idea of this
communist regime,
big oppressive regime, and the Tiananmen Square guy in front of the tank.
Yeah.
I never saw any of that. And plus it also helps that I'm living in this place that was like an economic development area, and so it was all planned out. They started it back in the 80s. It was all planned out, and everything, like all the power lines are all underground and all that kind of stuff. The garbage pickup is before sunrise, you know, those kinds of things, and it's kind of an interesting place because it's metropolitan. There are tall buildings, and actually one of the tallest buildings in China is there. It's the only skyscraper there in my neighborhood. But it's like a big city in population, but it's like a small town as far as like, I guess most people there are just there for work, and so there's not a whole lot of like nightlife and things. Pretty much streets are empty at 9 o'clock.
Well, thankfully you've aged out of the nightlife.
I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
I mean, you like to boogie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, the nightlife ain't no good life.
Not really. Especially when, one of the main goals of nightlife is off the menu, once you're serious in a family kind of situation. So not a whole lot of point. I mean, I'd rather be hanging out with my family anyway.
I feel that.
The wife and the kids.
Before you moved, we played in a few bands together. And, we miss you. Cold Blooded 3 has missed you, and Two-Way Radio doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh yeah, that's too bad.
And Shabbadoo hasn't played. We're actually playing a show later today. I mean, you can't go if you're watching this podcast because it's already happened.
Too late.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Missed it. Sorry. Maybe we'll get some of it in the show if we do okay, though.
Yes, let's record it.
Cross fingers.
See if it works.
Is this your first show in America in God knows how long, right?
Yeah, since before I left, I haven't played at a live venue. I mean, I've played to friends and played to the internet, but I haven't played to people.
Is this record that we're playing in support of, and which is out now everywhere on the Bandcamps and Spotifys and all that stuff, is that the first thing you've done since you moved?
Well, I've kind of been working on it the whole time. bits and pieces here and there with long breaks in between. There are a few songs. I think all of the songs. There's 5 songs that are kind of connected. They've got the Fig 1, Fig 2, Fig 3, Fig 4, and Fig 5. Because I always just thought it was unusual and funny how in a book when you're reading and it refers to a figure or some sort of graphical thing and it says Fig 1 in parentheses, and I was like, that's going to be the name of my song. And the music for all of those had already been written before I left in 2010. And then there was one that I wrote, I think, the first week I was in Jakarta. And then there's, it was just kind of like that, like a few songs that first year overseas. There were a couple of songs that I did when I was in Bangkok. And then they just started accumulating, and I was like, you know what, I could just put out a record. And I had this kind of creative spurt and started writing more songs, and for long I had 20 songs that I felt like went together well.
And lucky for you, over the course of the pandemic, tons of people got home recording gear and got hip to uploading tracks and sharing tracks and all that stuff.
Yes. So, yes, it's Shabbadoo started as just a solo effort, just me playing the tracks on everything, but over the years, lots of other people have gotten involved with it, and it's great that you guys can still be involved, because you play on 3 tracks?
3 or 4, yeah.
Or 4.
Mostly synth, but though, and maybe a little guitar.
A little guitar, yeah.
Playing drums tonight because Andy can't be there.
Yeah, Doc Shabbadoo played drums on 1 track, but he's a busy man, been having some difficulties, to say the least. But he's out of town today, and Professor Jeff Brendan's out of town.
Well, he's permanently out of town. He lives in Arkansas.
He lives in Arkansas, but he's playing a gig and couldn't be here, or
he would have been here.
He's obligated.
Yeah.
Predisposed. But yeah, who else? And then Andrew, Corey.
Oh, I heard from Andrew. He may be here tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But again, you can't be there. But Andrew may.
I hope he brings his guitar.
Yeah. I mean,
no, he doesn't matter. I wouldn't put anybody in that position.
And given that he hasn't, he wasn't able to practice with us, that might be weird. He could probably pull off the remedy, though.
But I want everybody. I want to try to get everybody involved in the next record too, because the tracks that have everybody on them kind of have a little bit more of a good vibe to them. Like, I mean, not that the ones that I did all by myself. Well, actually, I don't think I did any. Well,
Brendan was probably involved.
Brendan played bass on just about every track, except for I think one called Flokij Tapar.
And also, his mixing work is kind of a musical element unto itself.
It truly is. Yeah. And we traded notes back and forth a whole lot, trying different ideas out, and he reamped all of the electric guitars, so he controlled the way the sound of the guitars, the amp sound and everything.
Yeah.
And he made some really interesting choices with that I really appreciated.
Yeah, I noticed in some of the mixes that I worked on, I noticed, different parts coming in and out. I just kind of play through the whole thing and then let y'all figure it out.
Yeah, that's and those have gone through some iterations. I have a tendency to always start minimal and keep adding parts and then start subtracting them again, and which is a pretty good way of doing things, but I do it too often, and so we decided later on that some of the stuff needed to start at the beginning of the song and not wait until part of the way through. So having the part all the way through really gave us those choices to kind of, and we worked on it for so long, we just decided it doesn't matter how long it takes. we're just going to put it out whenever it's done. And if it takes 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you know.
How long did it actually take? Since from when maybe Brendan got involved?
I think Brendan got involved probably 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
Maybe, when I said, hey, I think I want to actually turn this into a record, you know, and I sent him all the stuff, and I sent out, that's when I sent out all of the Google Drive to everybody, the invites, and put everybody on the
The first
on
couple
the
of
share
things
list.
I played on when I was still living in Chicago. And then I played on a couple more when I moved back here. So, yeah.
It's always more fun when you get other people's input, because their perspective, they're always
They think of things you wouldn't.
Right, they're going to put different ideas on there, and sometimes it's unexpected. Sometimes you put it on and you're like, but then later you realize, oh, that actually worked.
What's the name of it?
It's called Next Man Up.
Any reason?
Yes, but I can't tell you. No. Well, the first reason is
Because it's got 3 syllables?
correct.
Yeah.
I, for one reason or another, when I put out the first Shabbadoo record called Built to Crash, it was actually a cassette. I started this naming convention. I didn't think about it until I'd already decided the first full album was going to be called Redoubled. And I thought, oh, hey, look, they both have 3 syllables. And so the next record, I'm going to call it Hit or Miss. So it goes 3 one-syllable words, 1 3-syllable word, 3 one-syllable words, 1 3-syllable word. So that's the pattern. And then, so the last album that we did all together while I was still here was called There You Are. And then a bunch of people did some remixes, and we stuck them together, and we called it Unraveled. So that means it's 3 words, one syllable each. And it's, you know, it's that war, sports kind of mentality, like next man up. You got to put, if you can't do it, then the next man up, or if you get hurt, or you
hear that in like, you know, basketball especially. It's always like, oh, Jaw's injured. You got next man up.
Next man up.
Next man up.
Yeah. But then you could imply some sort of idea of resurrection or something, you know, like next
Or just
next Messiah up.
or just like, it's my turn, you know, like next man up.
Right, like up on the open mic night.
Yeah.
Or,
Ooh, it's my turn. Just saying. 3 syllables.
oh, next record? Oh, wait, next one has to be 1 word. But It's My Turn could be a Shabbadoo record. Yeah. There's always something that will tell me, okay, that's the title. Having the naming convention narrows it down, but it's always obvious when something, because I remember, well, I mean, the symbol on the very first EP is the little Mac system error, the little bomb animation that used to come on the old Mac OS system error. And so Built to Crash, I was probably struggling with, I had an old clone Macintosh, and so Built to Crash.
Yep.
You know, plus it's funny and ironic and silly. And then Redoubled was right around the Bush presidency, and for some reason that word just started appearing in every politician's speech, and then every newscaster started saying it. You know, those words will just sort of show up and appear, and then everybody starts saying them, and then they're just, and I'm like, what does redoubled even mean? It's like, wouldn't you just say quadrupled or something?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I'm
like
gonna
that.
double it, and then I'm gonna redouble it. It's just a funny.
Do you know that
funny
ZZ
word.
Top song, Double Back Again? I don't know, it just
I
made
don't
me
think
think of
I'm
that. It's
familiar.
from Back to the Future 3. double back again. And that's all we can use. That's all we, for copyright
Right,
reasons.
well, you
that's
don't
all
want
we
to
can
get
use.
silenced.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about ZZ Top driving down here because,
yeah?
of course, you were past the sign, and you go. Is that going to get us in trouble? Yes.
Red flags.
All right, this is called Sneakin. Just try it for a week or two. See how I fare. I'll promise and a brand new suit. Devil he may get. Sneaking, stepping on. I'm taking over the neighborhood. Anything in my way. Clouds breaking like I knew they would. Take my time today. Sure can make me smile. You ask me where it all comes from. Can't really tell. I'll take you where the river runs. Bring along your head. If it's bringing on.
Spotify also has weird rules about having too much music in the podcast in general, so keep it.
Ah.
Yeah, it's got to be more conversational. This is not a place for
If I
music.
s-
This is a place for chit chat.
If I sing badly enough, will their AI pick it up?
It'll automatically pitch correct it into something we can't use. Well, what does the family think about all this? I mean, do they understand like how much you love this and how much this means to you?
They are more and more now that I've decided to like just get really back into it and just be more active in it again.
Because I think the Memphis music scene does certain things to folks that, I mean, you kind of have to live in it and feel it, and obviously they're not from here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And no connection to, what's...
Back in the day when I was putting out the records, I would always give them out as Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And I would give one to my parents every year, and they would, oh, this is great. And then we would put it on, and I would probably end up listening to it more than they did. They would kind of get bored with it or start doing their other stuff.
I think it's worth noting that your dad is a prominent band leader and
Yeah.
college music professor and stuff.
Yep.
So you're not just playing this for Joe the plumber.
And my mom was a music teacher, was a piano teacher, so that is part of it. But they weren't intimidating or anything. They were just kind of not their thing. They appreciated. They thought it was great that I was doing it. Recently, though, since I started doing the live stream, my mom has been tuning in, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you had so many songs, and I'm starting to really like some of those songs."
Well, geez, you put out an album a year for a while when you were here.
Pretty much,
So
pretty much. There were a couple of
big
years that I
catalog.
didn't make the goal, but that was the assignment for at least for the first 5 albums, I think. Yeah.
How many more you think you got in you?
I don't know. I've got seeds for a bunch of other ones. That's kind of how I work. Ideas will pop in your head, and you just pick up your phone and just sing it into the phone. And I've got this little multi-track app, so if I have more than one part in my head, I sing it. And then I'll listen to it later and be like, what? I don't even understand what the idea is. But if it's available, I'll do it with the guitar, and it's a lot more, legible. But and then I just sort of collect those, and sometimes I get an idea that goes with it, or I have, a lyrical hook, and then it'll turn into a song. And I've got a bunch of them, and I still like, a lot of those are the songs that are like looping in your head when you wake up from a dream, and then you have to think, is that really my song, or is that a song somebody else already wrote?
Could be either, probably.
Yeah.
If you do enough different with it, goodness gracious knows, there's no original chord progressions left.
Yeah, certainly. I even wrote a song about that.
Yeah.
And I used the chord progression from Pachelbel Canon in D, which is the most ripped off chord progression in all of music history.
When you first said that, I thought you said Taco Bell. I was like, what?
If you're really hungry and you're about 100 yards away.
Do they have Taco Bell in China?
It never made it. They tried it back in the 80s maybe, and it just didn't.
They have a few in England. I was just over there, and they have a handful, but not very many.
You can find most cuisines at a moderate level of quality, except for it's very difficult to find good Mexican food. In all of Asia, basically, except for Bangkok. Bangkok had some really great taco and burrito places.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to get you some tacos before you leave.
Oh, yeah. We already went to a taco truck back in Cookville.
I can recommend you some places here. There's good stuff.
Is that the one that was in the little blue house out on Summer? Is that still there?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know about the little blue house on Summer. That's a hit. That's something that's beyond me.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Joey, is there anything we missed? Anything you want to get in?
I've been doing that live stream every week on my YouTube channel.
Is there that's a Shabbadoo YouTube channel or a Joey Pegram?
It's a JoJo Shabbadoo channel. I have a Joey Pegram channel too. That's like mostly art stuff and art teaching stuff. And then this one is like some gaming videos and some music videos and a bunch of live streams that I started doing those in January, I think, and started just doing them like every week, just for no other reason that I wanted an excuse to get the songs out again and play them again, remember the chords, remember the words. Hopefully tonight I'll remember the chords and remember the words. But yeah, it's been fun because there's something about that. Even though I don't have many people joining the live stream, just doing it, it starts to generate energy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
and it starts to accumulate, and more things start to happen. The album finally got finished. I'm here now talking to you. I'm going to play a record release show tonight.
And I mean, it keeps you in practice, and it probably keeps you, the more you play, the more ideas come and everything.
Yeah.
Totally.
And plus, singing is really good for you. Singing is the best thing you can do. Makes you smarter, happier, sexier, more prolific. It fixes everything. Sing. Even if you suck at it, just sing when nobody's listening.
I'm hip to that. That's a good note to end.
All right. This is a new song off of Next Man Up, the new record. This song is about that place where I was living before. It's called This Place. This place I'm in, I know it's got me in a place I don't fit in, and I've got to set it straight. All the parts have got to find a place. I know I've got my place in it. This place has got something about the way it puts me in my place, and I've got to find a way to come together any day. So my place, it's in the end. And you, my friend, you got your place. You're in a place I know I've been, and we got to make a play. Yeah, we got to make it stay. It's all I know it is. Take it, Jason. Goodbye.
Should we tape like? Do you want to cut like an official outro? Should we cut like a real outro, like maybe even that looks different? We could stand up or something.
Sure. How about we do that at the venue?
An outro at the venue.
An outro at
Okay.
Java Cabana. We
Oh,
can do
that's
the
nice.
outro even before we play, before
Ooh,
that
but let's
happens.
cut one of those like a 30-second like, hey, my guest this week on the podcast is Joey Pegram from Shabbadoo.
Okay, you want to do that?
Yeah, yeah.